Hey guys, before we get this party started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Despite the situation, we love them and we feel y'all would probably too. So don't be shy. Go check out livenation.com. They have concerts going online so you can keep yourself entertained while stuck on the couch. And then also, if you need any weed for our Colorado community, our friends over at Live Well Cannabis, they have locations all over the state and they got you covered. Lastly, don't forget our friends over at Seed and Smith for our mountainous friends. They just released the Dart and Veil, so that's going to be a quality purchase while you're stuck at home. Without further ado, we have Miss Caroline Glover, chef and proprietor of Annette Scratch to Table. Here we go. Cheers.
The suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Wheaties! I got Wheaties pops!
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear you. There we go.
Perfect.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Working from home, similar to most everybody else. And Chris is actually in the other room. And I told him to come join us, but he was on a call with his boss. So who knows? But I appreciate you taking the time to kind of goof off with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice change.
Right? Well, I mean, is today the day off for y'all over at Stanley?
Yep. I think the other businesses are still going on Monday, Tuesdays, but we just needed 2 days off. This has been exhausting.
And it seems like y'all been kind of running ragged over there, like keeping busy to the nth degree, considering the circumstances and such. So
yeah, no, we have. We're super lucky. But every day you wonder if we're doing the right thing or not. Every day the news gets more and more awful, and we just want to make sure that we're also keeping ourselves safe. So I just feel like mentally it's been pretty tough.
Oh, I mean, it's just hard to, it's just one of the most craziest circumstances I've ever could have drummed up. And so, we didn't even know what to do with this podcast. We're idiots that go out to eat, we come and eat in y'all's restaurants. Yeah. So we're like, what do we do outside of the podcast? I know you joined Chris when I was actually out of town about a year, over a year ago. So he'll probably join us somewhere in here, depending on how his boss keeps him ragged. But we were trying to figure out a way for us to use our platform for good, because usually if it's us goofing off and going out, we thought maybe we could reach out to y'all via the internet, record it as best I can. I think I screwed up Tommy's interview yesterday, Tommy Lee, and I was like, I cannot find this recording anywhere. So I was like on hold with Zoom, and they were like, yeah, dude, we have a lot of people calling about questions right now. So do you mind you have like a 45-minute wait. So I was like, Tommy, we may have to do our interview. So we'll see how that one goes. But so we're trying to highlight the restaurants. We want to know kind of, y'all are on the forefront, y'all and Bryant and Mark and all of y'all's team over there at Stanley. Y'all kind of recognized that this was a bigger situation. And so y'all were a little bit ahead of the curve and closing down but creating a curbside service that, you have one of the dankest restaurants in town. So obviously that helps, but the Colorado curbside thing. And then we talked about maybe I know y'all brought back the sexy sandwich and the burger and things of that nature for regular use. Yeah. So we figured we just kind of use the platform and we'll steal some of your internet pictures. We do that all the time. But we'll post it and be like, we'll drop one every day with a different chef talking about just the last 3 weeks. What are we expecting over the next 8? And I'm guessing 8. That's just been a total spitball number. I don't actually have a clue.
I know. I said to my husband yesterday, I'm like, can we start saying June? And he's like, I have no idea. You know?
I hate to set. You feel bad setting a bar, but you're like, if we have a goal to achieve, like Memorial Day, if we can get to Memorial Day, then
right, So
we don't know.
Thank God. We'll hit April, what, soon? Tomorrow?
The longest month ever. I mean, March has just been terrible. As I drink at 11 o'clock in March, 12:30 last year.
I love that.
It's a tough, and I mean, I have a day job, but we work from home as well. So this is nothing new. We're just set up at the home office. But I'm going to do a quick intro. Y'all, for those that are we did a brief conversation, but I'm sitting down with Caroline Glover remotely, virtually, whatever the term may be, to talk about Annette working in the food hall and then the restaurant industry in Denver. This is another segment of the Quarantine Chronicles, as Kip has called it. So, Caroline, thank you for joining us. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You know, you say that now, but in like 20 minutes, you're like, get the hell out of here. Although human interaction at any point, I'm just like fired up. I'm like, yeah, like the mailman. I'm like, hey, I'm waving to him from my window. So.
I know, that's so funny. I've been at work, with 5 other people. And so I feel like when I get on social media and see everybody quarantining and sewing or doing whatever fucking thing they're doing, bettering their life and feeling blessed, I'm just like, I'm not there.
No, but you're doing not only the Lord's work, but like work that is very much appreciated. Because if we were all dependent on cooking fucking spaghetti and tacos every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like it was in the Wilson house growing up, I mean, I would be miserable by now. I'd be dying. And we've used those takeout service once or twice already in the 3 weeks we've been home. But that's kind of what we want to do. We want to pick your brain. For those that maybe didn't hear that earlier part I said, y'all were kind of on the forefront of creating this curbside service to, maintain that while the governor may have shut down restaurants due to the COVID situation, y'all been pretty proactive, or at least on the front lines of trying new things over at Annette. And it seems like it's starting to kind of pay off really well, considering the circumstances.
Yeah, no, considering the circumstances, I feel like, I'm a germaphobe and a hypochondriac. Like when I saw this start sweeping, China, I was like, oh, fuck, like we're going down. So I'm definitely a pessimist. So that like, I think we started thinking about it a bit further ahead of other people. And then also Canlis in Seattle, they really jumped on that curbside. I mean, obviously in a different capacity because they have a lot more money and it's a different type of restaurant, but just seeing a restaurant pivot as quickly as they did was super inspiring to me. And so I called their chef immediately, Brady, and said, how'd you do this? And he gave me the lowdown for an hour and we kind of started game planning. What if Annette has to do this next week? And it actually happened 2 days later. So we were like, just almost there.
I mean, and I guess, Seattle was kind of one of those cities that was kind of infected before us as well.
Yeah.
But y'all's team over there was y'all were on the forefront. Like y'all were seeing other restaurants continuing to do dine-in for 4 or 5 days. And obviously, it's apples and oranges comparing y'all's, scene with it being a whole food hall and y'all have shops and boutiques and everything. Okay. Y'all were more susceptible to infection and to having more people coming through than just a brick and mortar restaurant. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. A lot of shared space for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like y'all have kind of been on the frontier of that from the start. Like Stanley was one of the early beacons for that. And then y'all have been, and for those that don't know, Annette is, it's up for a JBF. Y'all are semifinalists. I don't know exactly how the process goes from here on out.
I don't know.
Everything's in limit, right? But you are a recognized chef, and your restaurant has been recognized many times by that crew. So, assuming that y'all still get to go to Chicago later, if y'all haven't tried this dine-in service, there's still slang and dankness out on the curbside. But it's y'all and everybody else in the building, correct?
Yeah. I think almost every single food vendor is out there, with the exception of Comida right now, but I think they're coming back. They were just kind of taking a minute to figure things out.
Yeah, Rami in the pink truck, right?
Yeah, Rami will be back. I don't doubt that.
I have zero doubts about that as well. Well, okay, so I want to ask you a little bit. We've talked a little bit about how you planned yourself into the situation, how you kind of found a little bit of a bearings. How has business been? How have things been going?
It's been really good. I mean, people have been showing up and supporting us. I think being in that neighborhood, Stapleton, we have a crowd that is, homebound. And so it's nice for them to get out and get some food. Lunch has been a little bit on the slower end, but dinner's been really good. And we're able to keep all of our salary guys on, still provide them health insurance, and then brought on a couple more hourly. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, now I'm kind of focused on how many people are we bringing in. I want us to be safe while keeping other people safe. So it's those safety measures now that we could be busier and we could bring more people in, but is that worth it? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, more, and that's almost the saying. It's like too many chiefs, not enough Indians, or too many cooks in the kitchen. It's like, are you making yourself susceptible to like a much bigger issue if, by trying to expand? So, I mean, that's a really fickle bitch that you're having to like juggle both of those.
It feels like a crazy moral dilemma because we want to keep our salary guys there. We want to keep as many people as we can on the payroll. But at the same time, if one of us gets sick, then we can't operate anymore. So it's definitely a juggling act. I know a lot of people are dealing with it. But I think like at the end of every day, it's like, okay, COVID is still an issue. This is why we're doing this. So how are we making sure we're protecting ourselves and everybody else?
Yeah, well, I'll speak on behalf of everybody. Thanks for taking those extra precautions and weighing all this. It's no longer, and obviously we live in a capitalist society and we see money, we obviously have to now realize that money can't bring back lives. We can't, it doesn't curb everything. The restaurants are, suffering, but big companies are suffering. It's the person is the most, important thing. It doesn't matter if we bring in more money, if we're, chancing the health of our team, then we're making too many sacrifices.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah. And we won't be open. There's no way.
And so that makes you, so it kind of feels like you almost are playing with a little bit of fire. What is, we were joking about it before. I guess I did that intro, so I'll trim that beginning part. But what's the expectations? Like, is it sustainable for us to go about this model for 2 more months if we had to be quarantined until like April and May until June?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're taking it week by week. I think for Annette, we kind of have an Annette quarantine. It's basically you come to the restaurant, you go home. That's it. If you have to go to the grocery store, you're wearing a mask, you're wearing gloves. We're all doing the same practices at home that everybody's doing, like baking our mail, which is absolutely fun.
Wait, time out. What? Did you say bake your mail?
Baking our mail. We bake our mail every day. We put it in the oven, 180 for 10 minutes, and it kills the virus if it's on the outside.
Whoa.
I told you, I'm a germaphobe.
Wait, do you have any so before this all happened, did you have like other tendencies that use your jacket sleeve to open doors?
Yes, I'm that person. And I've actually spent the last 10 years with Nelson, my husband. He hates it. He hates me. I grew up that way. So I've been spending the last 10 years trying to kind of strip myself of it. Like, okay, I don't need Purell right now. Or I can shake your hand. And now I'm like, no, fuck that. It's me. It's going to save me.
You really will. You're going to not only be you go in these extra steps and having this further protocol, y'all are going to be the last restaurant standing, and you're going to be the last healthy person. You'll be you nasty sons of bitches. I told y'all not to touch that.
I think a lot of cooks are germaphobes. I mean, we work with food all day. I don't know. I hope they are.
There are, and y'all do have protocols in kitchens that, if you're not using gloves, then it is washing everything, from scrubbing the cutting boards down regularly, there are already those things. So it's always kind of weird. When I see an Instagram, from a restaurant, they're we are now cleaning extra deep. And I was like, damn,
I know.
Were y'all not already doing that?
It kind of grosses me out. Yeah. We're taking extra. We're definitely washing our hands today. I'm like, thank you so much.
They're we used to wash our hands only after we went to the bathroom, but now every time we sneeze, we're also washing. I'm
when we come in.
It's the Cheesecake Factory that is doing that.
I felt like the Instagram post that happened kind of as this was all leading up. I was like, I don't know if this is telling of places, but
there's got to be a better way to phrase it. Be like, guys, we're taking extra precautions of masks, something Make it more, inundated.
Yeah.
Just like we're cleaning our boards.